Do you
Mr.
think
President,
Democratic congresswomen are not American?
Somebody has a problem with our country. If somebody doesn't want to be in our country, they should leave. That's all.
House Speaker,
Are those
Let me just tell you,
congresswomen not
let me just
American?
tell you, when you look at her statements on Al Qaeda, did you see her statements on Al Qaeda? When you look at her statements about people, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak from right over here because there's
Couldn't
so
you
many,
do better, sir?
there's so
Couldn't
many
you be
people
more
here, and this is really about economic development and how well our country.
which congresswomen are you talking about? Which congresswomen are you talking about?
Sir, isn't this us versus them, Mr. President?
Mr. President,
These are people that, in my opinion, hate our country. Now, you can say what you want, but get a list of all of the statements they've made. And all I'm saying that if they're not happy here, they can leave. They can leave. And you know what? I'm sure that there'll be many people that won't miss them. But they have to love our country. They're Congress people. Wow, that's a lot of press. Look.
What were you talking about in your tweet about going back to their home?
Well, I didn't mention names, and I didn't do that. But I will tell you, with our country, and I think everybody in this audience, these are great manufacturers, great workers in our audience, too. They brought a lot of their workers here. If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. And that's what I say all the time. That's what I said in a tweet, which I guess some people think is controversial. A lot of people love it, by the way. A lot of people love it. But if you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay, too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
But these are American
Well, that's just a very racist statement, somebody that would say that. So Speaker Pelosi said, make America white again. Let me tell you, that's a very racist statement. I'm surprised she'd say that. John, go ahead. Well, they're very unhappy. I'm watching them. All they do is complain. So all I'm saying is, if they want to leave, they can leave, John. They can leave. I mean, I look at Omar. I don't know. I never met her. I hear the way she talks about Al Qaeda. Al Qaeda has killed many Americans. She said, you can hold your chest out. You can, when I think of America, when I think of Al Qaeda, I can hold my chest out. When she talked about the World Trade Center being knocked down, some people, you remember the famous some people. These are people that, in my opinion, hate our country. Now, you can say what you want, but get a list of all of the statements they've made. And all I'm saying that if they're not happy here, they can leave. They can leave. And you know what? I'm sure that there'll be many people that won't miss them.
But they're American citizens.
But they have to love our country. They're Congress people. And I never used any names.
Are you
but these
okay
are
with
people,
thinking your tweets are racist,
quiet,
Mr. President?
quiet.
Are you okay with people
Quiet.
thinking your tweets are racist, sir?
Quiet. These
I'm
are
asking a
people
question,
that
sir.
if they don't like it here, they can leave. And I don't know who's going to miss them, but I guess some people will. One of them is polling at 8%. One of them is polling at 8%.
Are you
One of them
okay
is polling
with
at
that, sir,
8%.
being called racist?
So when I hear people speaking about how wonderful Al Qaeda is, when I hear people talking about some people with the World Trade Center, some people, no, not some people, much more than some people. When I hear the statements that they've made, and in one case you have somebody that comes from Somalia, which is a failed government, a failed state, who left Somalia, who ultimately came here, and now is a congresswoman who's never happy, says horrible things about Israel, hates Jews, hates Jews. It's very simple. And if the Democrats want to wrap their bows around this group of 4 people, one of them kept Amazon out of New York, tens of thousands of jobs, would have been a great thing. And she kept Amazon from going, would have been a good deal. I mean, could he have made better? Maybe. But tens of thousands of jobs. And New York has not been the same since that happened. It's really hurt New York and New York City. Amazon was going to go. They were going to relocate a major section of their business in New York. She kept them out. That was a terrible thing she did. A terrible thing she did. So here's the story. Here's the story. I see them complaining. They're complaining constantly. I watched Lindsey Graham today on Fox and Friends talking about
He says you went
the
too
same
far,
subject,
sir.
and frankly, even stronger than what I'm saying. He said they're
says you went too
communists.
far, Mr.
I'm saying that they're socialists, definitely. As to whether or not they're communists, I would think they might be. But this isn't what our country is about. Nevertheless, they're free to leave if they want. And if they want to leave, that's fine. And if they want to stay, that's fine. But the people have to know. And politicians can't be afraid to take them on. A politician that hears somebody where we're at war with Al-Qaeda and sees somebody talking about how great Al-Qaeda is, pick out her statement. That was Omar. How great Al-Qaeda is. When you hear that, and we're losing great soldiers to Al-Qaeda, when you see the World Trade Center gets knocked down, and you see the statements made about the World Trade Center, all the death and destruction, I'll tell you what, I'm not happy with them. And it's very easy to be say, oh, gee, well, it's okay. If weak politicians want to say, and the Democrats in this case, if they want to gear their wagons around these four people, I think they're going to have a very tough election, because I don't think the people of the United States will stand for it.
What do you mean the people of the Mr. President? Mr. President! What do you mean, Mr.
John,
President?
go ahead. Go ahead, John.
Let me see if I can sum up sort of what people are talking
Go ahead.
about. Does it concern you that that tweet was seen as racist? Lindsey Graham said, encouraged you to aim higher, and does it trouble you?
No, he didn't say about that. He just said, don't go. See, I disagree with Lindsey. These are congressmen. What am I supposed to do? Just wait for senators? No. These are four. So I disagree with Lindsey on that. That was the only thing. He said, aim higher, shoot higher. What am I going to do? Wait till we get somebody else in a higher position, a higher office? These are people that hate our country. Hey, John, they hate our country. They hate it, I think, with a passion. Now, it's possible I'm wrong. The voter will decide. But when I hear the way they talk about our country, when I hear the anti-Semitic language they use, when I hear the hatred they have for Israel, and the love they have for enemies like Al-Qaeda, then you know what? I will tell you that I do not believe this is good for the Democrat Party. Certainly, it's not the party that I've known over the years.
They're U.S. citizens. Mr. President, where should they? Mr. President, where should they? Mr. President.
Does it concern you that many people saw that tweet as racist, and that white nationalist groups are finding common cause with you on that point?
It doesn't concern me, because many people agree with me. And all I'm saying, they want to leave, they can leave. Now, it doesn't say leave forever. It says leave if you want. But again,
Mr. President, as you instructed me, we are continuing the maximum pressure campaign. This is the last remaining source of funds. So both the Central Bank of Iran, as well as the National Development Fund, which is their sovereign wealth fund, will be cut off from our banking system. So this will mean no more funds going to the ROGC or to fund terror. And this is on top of our oil sanctions and our financial institution sanctions. Thank you, Mr. President. This is very big. We've now cut off all source of funds to Iran.
It goes all the way up to the very top.
That does.
right to the top. Right to the top. Okay? Yes, right to the top. Thank you very much, Steve. Appreciate it. So we're dealing with many nations. We're dealing with some of the neighbors to Saudi Arabia, and of course we're dealing with Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is very much involved from the standpoint of what we're doing and what they're doing, and we're working together with others. We're also working on the cost of this whole endeavor, and Saudi Arabia has been very generous. We want to see if it works out, and if it works out, that's great, and if it doesn't work out, that's great. In the end, it always works out. That's the way it is. It always works out. So you'll be seeing certain things happening, but a very major factor is what we did. These are the highest sanctions ever imposed on a country. We've never done it to this level. And it's too bad what's happening with Iran. It's going to hell, doing poorly. They're practically broke. They are broke. And they could solve the problem very easily. All they have to do is stop with the terror. They have been the number one, as you know, Scott, very well, number one country worldwide of terror, between sponsoring it and doing it themselves. And we can't have it. They have a tremendous potential. They have an incredible potential. I can speak on behalf of Australia, too, in the sense that we'd like to see them do very well. We were discussing it before, the Prime Minister and myself. We want to see them to do well, but it looks to me like with what's happening, maybe they want to keep going at it. And when they go at it with us, there's no way they win. No way they win in any way or in any capacity. So we wanted to let you know about that, and that's the way it is. And thank you all very much. We're going to spend a lot of time with Australia today. Today is a very special day for the United States because we're honoring a great ally and a great friend. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Scott, would you like to say something?
It's a tremendous honour for Australians, for Jeannie and I to be here with the President and Mrs. Trump. It's a very gracious invitation, but it's an invitation that recognises not just